rich red meat. It is so good for you. It is so good to eat, and we are going to show you how to rock the lamb all through the house. Today's dish here is a braised lamb shank with way too much red wine, but that's okay. We're gonna show you how to make that succulent so everyone can eat it. It is so good. But let's get started. First thing we want to do is take our lamb shanks and we're going to coat them with herbes de Provençal. Now, herbes de Provence is a very classic combination of dry herbs. Now, today's market affords us the luxury, and it definitely is a luxury, and it is a new luxury, of fresh herbs. So I'm using fresh herbs. And what I have here is a little bit of chopped rosemary, some chopped sage, some chopped marjoram, a little bit of thyme in there, some lavender. Very important to put the lavender in there because just think, walking through Provence, skipping like the lambs do, and what happens? You smell lavender. It's a calming, wonderful flavor in there. We've got a little bit of garlic just to go with the lamb because that's just a tasty thing to do. And then fennel seed, fennel or anise seed, both are a wonderful thing, and again, very important in this classical French spice mixture. To that, we add a little bit of olive oil just to keep everything coated on there. That's great. Then add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. That's great, just like that. Some salt over top. Now, don't be afraid of using this much salt on this. This is a kosher salt. It's not too salty. Using a sea salt or something like that is great. Why you don't want to use like a regular sort of table salt that's iodinized is, one, you're going to eat enough seaweed at least once a year. All you have to do is eat sushi once a year with a little bit of seaweed and you get enough iodine in your diet. But that said, the normal sort of table salt that you might buy has free-flowing agents in it, and it sort of makes it taste kind of chemically. This is a very pure salt that's not too salty. So we're just going to rub this along just like this. Just give it a good old rub. Kind of like rubbing meat. I like that. Here we go, just rubbing it right in there. And now you can put this into your refrigerator and let it marinate overnight, but you know what? We're braising this for about 3 hours, so all the flavor is just gonna get in there. What we just wanna do is crush some of those essential oils out of the herbs and just sort of spread that all over the meat. So now that we've got our meat all oiled up, we're going to put that right into our pan that's got that hot olive oil, just like that. You could sear it in butter if you want that rich brown color, but it's not necessary with this. That's not really what we're after there. So let's just put that in there just like that. Now, you look, all these lovely herbs are just hanging out in the pan. Don't worry about that. We're gonna take our onions and we're gonna just scoop this all around, just like this. And once our lamb shanks come out of the pan, we're going to put our onions in the pan and sort of deglaze and really intensify and depthify. That's a new word, coining in here. That is the official word, depthifying the flavor right here on the show. So we're just gonna let those brown up. That takes about 5 minutes until they're completely caramelized on the outside. So here we go, nice caramelized golden color on the outside. We've seared this meat just to give it a little depth of flavor. We're going to allow that caramel on the outside of the meat to really increase the flavor factor of the dish. So we're just gonna let those sit there. Now we're going to add our onions right to the pan, just like that. And we're just going to caramelize those a little bit. So remember, caramelization is key to cooking, that's right. Here we go, we're just gonna add that right in there. Fingers of asbestos. So we're just gonna put that in there just like that. We don't want too much room around that. We just want that to just barely be room enough. And now we're just gonna cook these onions down just a little bit. So our onions now have got a little bit of caramelization going on. Now we're just gonna give it a good old glug of wine just in there. We just want everything to come off the bottom of the pan. That's called deglazing. Now, don't be worried. Sometimes you see me use wine and I just, hit that sucker hard. When we cook with wine, the alcohol cooks off. It's not such a big deal. But when you don't cook the alcohol off, you do have a nice glass of wine that you can just sit there. It's 3 hours in the oven. Don't worry about it. We'll just have a little glug ourselves just in there, okay? So we've got this. It's now coming to a boil. We just want to deglaze or take all that lovely little sticky, yummy stuff off the bottom of the pot. That's exactly what we want. We turn that off. We pour that right over our lamb. just like so. There we go. That's nice. Ethereal smells. Absolutely stunning. Okay, we cover that with a little tin foil. We put it in a fairly slow oven. It's about 325, 350 for about 3 hours. And what's going to happen is all the meat is going to cook very thoroughly, very thoroughly all the way through. And it starts to come away from the bone. It almost falls off. It is almost like butter. So here we go. That goes right into the oven like that. And then when that's almost done, we're going to make our anchois. Our shanks are almost done. They're almost ready to come out of the oven. And what we've done here is we've taken some anchovy and garlic and put them in our mortar and pestle and ground them up. Excellent quality anchovies come packed in salt. Make sure you buy those. You've got to take out the bones, but it really is worth the extra work. We've pounded it into a nice paste. Now, the difference between a traditional French anchois and what we're doing here today is that we're going to make it into a sauce mayonnaise. You would just stop right here with the garlic and the anchovies, and that's it. That's a little too severe, even for me. So we're going to, in a bowl, take an egg yolk, just like this. Right in there like that. We're going to take a little bit of our ground anchovy and garlic that's in there. We're going to take that and just put that with the egg yolk, just like that. And to that, we're going to add a squish of fresh lemon, just like that. Straining out the seeds. Good. That just goes in there like that. And we're going to mix that around. So here we go. We've got that egg yolk in there. We've got our smashed up anchovy and garlic. Now, a little trick that you learn in the kitchen, how to add oil slowly when you're sitting by yourself in the kitchen. We're just going to add a little bit like this. And look, the bowl does not move around. Just a little bit at a time. This is the secret to not breaking your mayonnaise, which means not creating this oil slick with a little bit of egg sitting at the bottom. So here we go, just adding a little bit like this, and you keep adding a little bit of oil at a time just until it all comes together in a nice mayonnaise form. Now this will keep in your refrigerator in a sealed container for quite a long time, at least a week. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. Great. Now, our shanks are done. Let's head right over. Let's take that right out of the oven. And we've got an extra little surprise for you besides this. Boom, check it out. That is so beautiful. You are going to love those. And as an extra added little treat, some lovely little roast potatoes, just like that, just to dip in that extra anchois that doesn't happen to make it onto the shank. So we just take this. Remember to always burn your fingers. That's how we show people we love them. Oh my goodness, that is so warm, just like that. A few roasted potatoes on there, just to make it look so lovely. And a couple of herbs. We've got some rosemary happening on there and a big old spoonful of the most beautiful sauce mayonnaise anchois. Look at that, just, eat your heart out. You are gonna enjoy this.